Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi everyone. Today we like to present for our group assignment for subject financial management. Okay, today here we have me, Muzaffar, then Abdul Manan, Atika, and then Azira. Okay, today for our presentation, we like to present the result from our assignment report for subject FIN420, and the main idea and the result from our report is to identify and analyze between the company performance, their company performance using the 3 years financial position statement and profit loss statement. And then our selected company is from food and beverages industry. Okay, we jump to the next slide. Okay, these are the 4 companies selected by our team, which is Nestle, Evanen, and Apollo, and then Spritzer. These all from food and beverage industry. Okay, then first for our company background is Nestle. Nestle is the world's largest food and beverage manufacturer, and then it's mainly from Switzerland, and the main manufacturer in Malaysia is located at Shah Alam, Selangor. It's a halal product. And then the famous brand in Malaysia includes Milo, Maggi, Nescafe, and KitKat. Then the second one is Apollo. Apollo is a leading manufacturer of the chocolate, confectionery product, and layer cake industry in Malaysia. And then distributes in Malaysia and develop their overseas market in the regional Asia Pacific, in Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and also in the Middle East country, then Mauritius and Maldives. The aim for this company is to always fulfill the customer needs and requirements by using the latest equipments and technology. And the third one is Evanen, and scientifically named as the Fraser and Neff Holding Berhad. These are founded by John Fraser and David Chalmers Neff in 1883, and is a halal product manufacturer. And then established food industry and beverages company. Then also is listed on Bursa Malaysia main board with an annual turnover of 4 billion from its core business in the manufacture, sales, and marketing of beverage and dairy products. And the last one is Spritzer. Spritzer is a company that manufacture segment of natural mineral water, carbonate flavor water, distilled water, and drinking water. And then also have a trading segment, offers bottled water, and the other segment engage with recreational park, investment, and properties holding activity. Okay, I pass my presentation to the next presenter, which is Azira.
My name is Azira, and let's moving on to the next slide, which is the companies will be measured based on the following category, which is liquidity, leverage, activity, profitability, and market value. Under the liquidity, there is two ratio, which is current ratio and quick ratio. Under the leverage, will be measured based on debt ratio, time interest earn ratio. For the activity, will be based on average collection period, fixed asset turnover ratio. And for the profitability, company will be measured by operating profit margin and return on equity ratio. The last one is market value, will be measured based on dividend payout ratio and PE ratio. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is summary of ratio analysis. For the liquidity, there is two ratio, which is current ratio and quick ratio. Let's focus to the current ratio. For the current ratio, based on the 3 years from 2018 to 2020 analysis, Apollo Food Holdings Berhad has the highest current ratio for 3 years in a row. So this is show that Apollo has a better ability to pay its short-term obligations on time as compared to the other companies, which is Nestle, FNN, and Sprizer. However, current ratio for Nestle, FNN, and Sprizer two have stayed above 1 for 3 years in a row, which is not bad. Okay, next slide. Second one is quick ratio. Again, Apollo Food Holdings Berhad shows that highest quick ratio, which is 15.99 times, where Apollo has a better ability to pay each short-term obligation on time without rely on inventories and prepaid expenses as compared to the other companies. And for the overall, Nestle Malaysia, FNN Holding Berhad, and Spritzer Berhad have good performance for quick ratio because the company has enough liquid asset to cover their current liabilities in the short term, which is all ratios show more than 1. Next slide, please. Okay, for the next ratio analysis, will be measured based on debt ratio. All companies obtain the total debt ratio less than 1, which is 100%, which is good. But the highest total debt ratio belongs to Nestle Malaysia, 80.53%, which indicates that Nestle Malaysia have the highest level of risk. Meanwhile, the lowest total debt belongs to Apollo Food Holding Berhad, which is 7.56%. This is indicated that Apollo Food Holdings Berhad is the lower risk level among all the 4 companies. The other companies is intermediate level of risk. Next slide. Time interest earned. Okay, based on the graph below, Apollo don't have time interest earned in average year. Therefore, Nestle Malaysia has lower time interest earned ratio due to lowest interest payment. Meanwhile, Spritzer Berhad and FNN Holdings has a better ability to meet loan charges and lower risk of default. Okay, so I'll be passed next slide to my partner, which is Atika.
Okay, next we move on to ratio analysis activity. First is average collection period. As per result, Nestle Malaysia was showing the lowest average collection period, which is 39 days is 218, 33 days in 219, and become lower in 220, which is show 31 days. This show that Nestle Malaysia have better management of their debtor compared to others. Apollo Food Holdings Berhad, FNN Holding Berhad, and Spritzer Berhad is the highest among the other companies, and this indicate that this company has problem in collecting debt. Okay, next slide. Next is total asset turnover. Based on 3 years from 218 to 220 analysis, the graph total asset turnover shows that Nestle Malaysia ahead of all existing companies with an average of 1.94 times in 218, 2.02 times in 219, and 1.90 times in 220, as stated in the diagram. Meanwhile, FNN Holding is in second place with an average of 1.22 times, followed by Spitzer Berhad in 0.75 times and 0.72 for Apollo Food Holding Berhad. A high total asset turnover ratio often indicates that effectively and efficiently uses its asset to generate revenues. A low fixed asset turnover ratio generally indicates the opposite. A firm does not use its asset effectively or to its full potential to generate revenues. Okay, next slide. Ratio analysis for net profit margin. In 220s, Spitzer Berhad recorded the highest net profit margin of 11.56%, followed by FNN Holding Berhad, 10.28%, Apollo Food Holding Berhad, 8.14%, and Nestle is the lowest net profit margin, which is 0.59%. This indicates that Spitzer Berhad better income to shareholder, followed by FNN Holding Berhad and Apollo Holding Berhad as well. So I pass my present to next, Abdul Manan.
Okay, next I'm going to present the graph comparison in return on asset, dividend payout ratio, and price earning ratio. So the first one, return on asset. As we can see here, 2 years in a row, Nestle Malaysia show the highest percentage compared to other companies, followed by FNN in second place, while companies Spitzer and Apollo show uncertainty in the result. In conclusion, Nestle Malaysia indicates that effectiveness of management in generating profit with its available asset. Next. So next one, dividend payout ratio. Based on the result here, we found that in 2018, the highest dividend payout ratio was recorded by the FNN at RM3.44, followed by Apollo Food Holdings with RM1.45, Nestle Malaysia with RM1 and Spitzer Berhad with 0.33 cents. In 2019, FNN Holding still show the highest DPR, which is RM3.40, followed by Nestle Malaysia with 98 cents, Apollo Food Holding Berhad with 92 cents, and lastly, Spitzer Berhad with 33 as well. Continuing to 2020, FNN Holding Berhad remained the highest DPR, which is RM3.40, followed by Apollo Food Holding Berhad with RM1.12, Nestle Malaysia with 98 cents, and the lowest DPR still remained by Spitzer. Therefore, FNN indicates the amount of current earning available to common stockholders payout as dividend. Next. So the last one, price earning ratio. Based on the graph, the highest ratio was shown by Apollo with 28 times, followed by Spitzer 18 times, then Nestle Malaysia with 12 times, and the lowest is recorded by FNN Holding Berhad with 0.43 times in 2018. In 2019, Apollo has reduced with 18 times, followed by Nestle with RM12, which maintained as previous year. Then FNN with 0.43 times, and the lowest goes to Spitzer with 0.29 times, which show reduction compared to previous year. Worst condition occurred when the PE ratio recorded a reduction in the number of respectively in 2020 to 8 times for Apollo, 12 times for Spitzer, where it show improvement from previous year, 4 times for Nestle, and 0.29 times for FNN. Next. So in conclusion, ratio analysis is the basic tool of financial analysis, and financial analysis itself is an important part of any business planning process as SWOT. All the discussed financial statement helps build the financial ratio for each company for the final analysis. Different ratios such as liquidity ratio, leverage ratio, activity ratio, profitability ratio, and market value, helps in determining the overall performance of each company, whether they have good or bad performance for that year. These ratios can also serve as a benchmark for other companies in the same industry. It may be useful to compare a company to certain industry average to get the feel for how the company is performing. One of the ways in which financial statement can be put to work is through ratio analysis. And last one, ratios are simply one number divided by another. As such, they may or not be meaningful.
Okay, that's all from
Thank
our
you.
team. Thank you.